Hello everyone, this is Elise Wang. This is a video vision presentation of my Design Management 788 final presentation, and the title of the presentation will be Building for Future Disaster Response. Well, this study is using the experiences of China Emergency Aid Shipment System, looking at the history data, analyzing the transition of all the resources in order to get a future of first aid organizational scenarios. Guided by these scenarios, the designers of public as well as organizations will be able to have a foresight of collaborative trends and also possibility of collaborative networks. This is a diagram shows the annual reported natural disasters from 1975 through 2005. We can see the trend in the diagram is that the burst rate of the disaster is increasing after the 1990s. The pictures above are showing some of the biggest disasters from 2005 to this year. During the time, people who were living in the area suffered the loss of family, homeless, and as well as hopeless. Here is some quotes from the people who experienced the disasters. After the earthquake happened, one of the most important things is sending first aid goods into the disaster area immediately. The initial shipment will be water, medicals, food, shelters, also clothing. The group involved into this issue will be governments, NGO, and as well as UN. They will be the drivers of emergency aid and also rebuilding. Because the earthquake will damage most of the transport channels, such as ship, also the trucks, so the airlines will become to the main line for the first aid. This diagram shows a normal running condition of an international airport in China. When a passenger or shipment are taking an international flight, the process will be 4 steps. The first one is getting registered and also get boarding pass. The second one is getting through the customs check. The third one is passing the immigration check. The last one will be accepting a check from quarantine. So usually the whole process will be taken last 2 hours. This is the scenario 1 called the transition of communication. The picture on the left is showing the phase 1. After disaster happens, the international organizations will connect with local groups, asking for the needs of first aid. After that, the locals will connect with the government for asking support. After getting information from locals, the government will connect with the international organizations again to schedule the shipping time and as well as the channels, such as which airport are they shipping to and when they can do it. The message will be also given back to the local groups for further action. In the same page on the right side of the picture showing the phase 2. After disaster happens, the international organizations will connect with local organizations, asking for the needs of first aid. After that, the local branch of the organizations will connect with government for asking support. After getting information from locals, the government will connect with the international organizations to schedule the shipping time as well as the channels to ship. The name of scenario 2 is transition of efficiency. The first one, the phase 1 on the left, is showing after the disaster happens, the deaths in the disaster area will increase. At the same time, the regular passengers going into the area will slash immediately. Follow that, the empty seat, also the free space in the flight will increase. This whole situation will help on speed up the emergency aid shipment. The phase 2, which is on the right side, shows that following the deaths decreasing, the passengers going into the area will go back to normal. This means that the empty seats and also the space in the flight will decrease. so the efficiency of first aid will slow down as well. At the same time, the government need to get controlled and go into the situation to help the rebuilding things go on well. The name of scenario 3, called the transition of network. After disaster happens, the international organizations, other countries' governments, also the UN, will immediately connect with the government which is suffering the disaster at that time. According to the agreement they have reached before, they will assist in the emergency aid after the disaster happened. In the same time, all the resources which need to be shipped into the area immediately will be waiting for the shipment at the cargo close to the airport, also maybe on the way to the airport. The government at that time need to be connect and also communicate with the airlines to see whether there are some space for the goods or no. The airlines will be responsible for the shipment to the first aid goods to the local people as well as the regular passengers shipment. The scenario 4, called the future organizational design. After trials of communications and transitions of resources happen all the single time when a disaster happens somewhere around the world, the UN and most of the governments which involved into the emergency aid issues will realize that there are some big gaps of communication also between the organizations. Finally, the UN or maybe one or two governments will start to reorganize their resources of first aid. They will communicate with each other and also try to set up a new collaborative network, which is most efficient that every group can benefit from it. However, this will be a very hard work to achieve because so many groups are involving into this network. Also, there are even some potential groups that we cannot see them so far. The last scenario, the scenario 5, will be called the first aid shipment in the future. As the diagram shows that in my vision of first aid shipment in the future, the airlines will become to the core of whole process because it's like the medium of the transporting. So the government will become to the support of the airlines. All the resources from outside, such as from international government, also international organizations, maybe as well as UN, will be integrated and also shipped into the disaster area's people's place. In this case, for helping the goods shipping into the disaster area efficiently, the airlines may have to cancel some regular flights and then turn them into the emergency shipping purpose. For this reason, the airlines may refuse to cooperate because of the decreasing of the profit, so that the government may need to give them some financial support to make them running in the normal conditions.